I'm just asking, is this not the month of the World Cup until the end of the year, sort of?
Well, not until the end of the year. But yes, it is the month of the World Cup. Is that why you're wearing the shirt? I didn't even know. I'm actually an All Black supporter.
So all jokes aside, I'm just kidding with you, dude. So we are today to give you tips and tricks. It's like a survival guide to the 48-hour film race, right? On the technical side of things, what is sort of the things that you can use? Can you source things? I mean, I know there's different categories. What would you say sort of is the tips that you can give to the Oaks out there?
So the beautiful thing about the 48-hour film race is that your gear is dependent on whatever category you're entering. So if you're in the amateur or the semi-pro or the pro, whatever gear you have at your disposal, you can use to make the best possible project you can.
And like, in a way, can you use, for me, for example, I don't have a camera, but I've got a phone. Can you, for example, just use your phone, or is that sort of a no-no?
Yes, you can, in the amateur and semi-pro categories. In fact, phones nowadays have such great video capability, you can really make a great short film with a cell phone. I think storytelling is always key, so gear-wise, make sure your story is told good, and you can use whatever gear you have.
Lekker. We're sitting here with sort of lekker lights and all that. In your past experience, have you used lights? Have you gone without lights? Is it a must to use lights or anything of that sort?
So I haven't always used lights. I think lights is a bit of a luxury that people get an opportunity to use. I think if you don't have lights, use natural light. Make sure you can shoot outside, or if you're using interior locations, make sure that you have enough natural light coming through. In fact, in my opinion, natural light is still some of the best lighting you'll ever find.
Now let's sort of look on a technical side of things. For example, some days it might be snowing. How would you approach sound?
So sound is a big one. A lot of people don't understand that sound's actually sometimes more important than your visuals to tell your story. So with audio, I'd always recommend lapels or video mics. I think audio, just need to make sure that you can actually tell your story clearly with audio. Sometimes recording audio in post is also a good idea. If you want to do ADR, for those who don't know what ADR is, it's recording your audio after you've shot on location. So yeah, those options are always available to us. Just get creative.
ADRs, would you sort of do that for a voice-over sort of thing, or would you literally dub the mouth?
You can dub the mouth. That is an option. That is what ADR is. So yeah, that's for a lot of us that work with limited resources. Sometimes that is your only option.
Yeah.
And yeah, as long as your story is coming across clearly.
Now, a difficult one, which I don't know a lot of. Editing. Pre-production, post-production. How do you approach it?
So this is a big one. I think a lot of times people don't understand, but if you go onto set, make sure that before you press record, that film has to be made in your mind. That concept needs to be so clear so that when you're shooting and when you're on set for production, you've already got a plan in mind for how post-production is going to work. So when you're shooting, make sure that you're getting your shots correctly filmed, you have enough takes so that when you come to the cutting floor, you can just put that in line and actually get creative with the flow. But I think that film needs to be made in your mind before you start rolling.
Let's look at two things. I mean, it's a reason it's called the 48-hour film race. So, firstly, how important is time management, and what tips would you have on that? And then on lapel, for example, I mean, we got very fancy lapels now, yeah, very cool. But people that don't have lapels, how would they approach sort of better quality sound?
So time management's everything. Make sure that you plot your entire weekend. Get lots of Red Bull, get lots of coffee, and make sure that your scripting is planned out the night before. Make sure that film is completely plotted out. Have your locations prepped. When you start rolling, make sure that you can shoot all your scenes within that period on the Saturday, so that you have the evening to edit and that you have Sunday for audio post-production or anything else that needs to go on afterwards. You never know what happens. There's a lot of things that you might need to fix, a lot of things that you might need to put in place. So have that contingency. Make sure that day is open for you to make changes, and then make sure that handover is ready by the closing time. And then with audio, so yes, lapels are a luxury that we have here today. But with technology, we can really get creative with it. We can really find ways to record audio in a very professional way without necessarily using professional equipment. So if everybody has a cell phone, you have an audio recording app, you can always hide it close to your actors in a scene. You can put it in a pocket of a jacket as long as it's not in the scene. Or if it is a part of your story, you can always just work it in. It's a cell phone. Everybody has cell phones. And if you're using that to record audio, you just sync it up afterwards and you have solid audio for your short film. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you for those tips and tricks on the technical side of things. If you just want to give your cell phone number, then they can give you a call just before the...
I'll give my agent's number.
There we go, that's a good answer. So yeah, there we go. Use it, don't use it. I mean, it's your decision at the end of the day, right? Good luck.
Enjoy.